Konbanwa minasan, good evening everyone. We're here to roll out the dough that we started earlier. Usually I do this midday, but I'm doing it right before dinner. This was the dough that's half buckwheat, half hard wheat, a cup of each, and then 3/8 cup water, warm water, in which has been mixed. It should be 2 teaspoons of sweet potato starch and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And we're using the roller that I just purchased today, Japanese pastry roller, a menbo from Hitachiya, right near where I live, which I'm very lucky to have such a upscale Japanese kitchenware store right next to the Nijiya market, the smaller one, here near where I live. So we're gonna roll this out and cut it up. I've already done one round. This is more or less one portion. Very rustic and rough cut. You know, I'm not going for super precision yet, and especially these are kind of a new noodle test. Looks good, right? So we'll see. I'm sure they're gonna boil quite fast. And here we go. Now you just wanna get it really thin, so you gotta put some back into it, and at the same time you have to add a lot of flour. This kind of is on the moister side, so it requires a lot of extra. Usually I don't quite use that much, but just to be safe, because I don't want anything sticking to the pin. But anyway, this low flat pin, yes, I know it looks like a dowel, like a piece of wood you would buy at Home Depot if you wanted, but it's actually been aged wood that is not going to stick or impart any chemicals or anything you don't want into your dough. So I know it's tempting to use a dowel, but this is a specifically designed wood, type of wood and treatment of wood for that simple rolling pin. This one wasn't too expensive, but there's a version that's over $100. We're getting there. No wrinkles. That's what I say to myself every morning when I look in the mirror. No more wrinkles. Okay. Great. Now prior to cutting, just literal flour, fold it. In that case, I folded it in 4s. And then go into cutting mode. we're getting there. So curl your fingers under and use them as a guide if you want to push back against them to try to get skinnier and skinnier noodles. I know mine are very varied in width, but obviously a skinnier noodle boils faster and carries less sauce. So it depends what kind of relationship you're looking for between your stock tare or your broth basically and your noodle. Typically homemade rustic noodles like these are thicker and work well with like a tonkatsu, or the vegan version I make is Nonkatsu, which is what we're serving tonight. Okay, I'm slowing down at the end. Here we go. And then be sure to toss some flour to keep the noodles separated from each other. Hopefully they open up properly. But be sure to pull them apart. You want noodles, not folds of noodles. There we go. That looks convincing to me. Okay, so I hear the water boiling and I have the broth ready to go as well. So I'm gonna go back to that first set and make our photographer his dinner. Steve, we have to show them your shirt. We're both wearing shirts that were painted on the same day by two different people, but my shirt's Industry of All Nations organic raw cotton, unbleached, undyed, that I then dyed and added some spray paint made for fabric. But you know what we like to do here at Rainbow Ramen, make colorful noodles, colorful clothes, and hopefully be colorful people. So here we go. And we're going to throw our noodles in boiling water. And be sure you have chopsticks available to like separate them quickly. But here we go. Yeah. Let's see. So these should not take more than 2 or 3 minutes. Watch them very carefully. Look at that nice creamy broth. So that's vegan because the nut creamy base comes from macadamia nuts and a whole list of other things available in a different video where I show you how to make that broth. And then look how lovely these colors match. The noodles match the broth. This is going to be the ultimate beige partnership. There we go. Okay, very soon. And then nearby I have my toppings ready, my noodle tosser ready. I don't see anything for labeling sauce, but this is a special pan, also from Hitachiya, that I bought there by one of their, it's a Japanese designer, I don't recall his name, but you can see it's a well-designed pan. Okay. Noodles almost ready. Okay, but prior to noodles, it would help to have ramen bowls ready to go. Usually I throw some hot water in there. I don't have time to do that this very second, but I like to heat the bowls up before I sauce everything. But everything's going to be very hot, so I think we're in good shape. And be sure you have some cold water at the ready to wash off the starch. And then be sure you get all the water off so it doesn't dilute your yummy broth. That's usually well achieved by flipping and shaking. Okay. Here we go. Now my noodles are too short to do the whole fold over. Usually longer noodles you could fold nicely, but it's not where we're at yet. And now, the broth. Just to the top of the noodles. And start to get your toppings in there. Charred corn. Some messily chopped greens, some pink radish, a drizzle of black garlic, fermented black garlic, the aromatic oil step, and I have some chashu. So the rest of this is vegan up until now, but I just have some leftover that I want to offer my guests. There we go. Do you want to try it?